Words from My Teachers, an Everyday Buddhism podcast featuring readings from the books written by and about my teachers from the Bright Dawn Center of Oneness Buddhism and the Kubose Dharma Legacy. Reverend Gyomay Kubose, Reverend Koyo Kubose, and Haya Akagarasu. This podcast is dedicated with great love and gratitude to the teachers and teachings of Reverend Koyo Kubose, Reverend Gyomay Kubose, and all those that went before. May all benefit. The next essay is Purposeless Purpose. Our way of life in American culture is purposeful and goal-oriented. If there is no purpose in something, we judge it useless. In today's modern life, a purposeless action is considered meaningless. A reporter from a local newspaper came to our house to interview my wife about the Japanese tea ceremony. This reporter continuously asked, "What is the meaning? What for? Why do you do that? What is the purpose of that?" This kind of question was directed at everything in the making of tea, at every gesture, every implement. Without thinking or deliberating, my wife finally replied, "No meaning, meaningless meaning. It is purposeless, purposeless purpose." The interviewer was very much intrigued by this reply. On the other hand, my wife was intrigued by the reporter's obsession with meaning and purpose. Why did the reporter need to continuously ask, what is the meaning, the purpose? Later, my wife confided to me that although she had never thought of it before, she and the newspaper reporter were living in very different worlds. In addition to purposefulness, there is another side to life. Purposelessness. Both aspects are true. Being purposeful is well suited to our materialistic society. In order to accomplish things, we must have purpose. Yet, the purposeless way is also a beautiful way. A flower blooms, a bird sings, a child plays. A biologist might claim that a flower blooms to attract insects, then spread the pollen. But the flower itself cannot help but bloom as it does. There is no intention. Life itself is purposeless. Water flows effortlessly. It cannot help but flow. That is the way it is. Effortless effort, purposeless purpose. That is the real way of life. Although nothing can be accomplished without effort, the Buddhist way is effortless effort. When you love, you love. There is no purpose. Why do we ask for meaning? Of course, in our social life, we do ascribe meanings to things and events, but with regard to the essence of life, it just is. If we do something from the beginning with purpose and meaning, then it becomes quite rigid. Meanings and reasons may be given later, but the doing is the purpose itself. If we continually live in the midst of purposeful directed activity, soon we feel pressured and must enters our lives. There is no naturalness. This is the very reason Buddha taught that the essence of life just is as it is. We should learn the purposeless way of life, purposeless doing. A utilitarian person would say, that is nonsense. However, nonsense is important in life. Too much intelligence or too much efficiency can create trouble. So we must learn non-intelligence, which is superintelligence. True life is purposeless. To realize this truth of life is Buddhism. In one sense, that is purpose. In another sense, it is purposeless. Life is always like that. It is inclusive. If we analyze it, it becomes two. But the reality is always one. Here and now, time and space, this very point is all inclusive. When we analyze, do we have different directions? True reality is natural and purposeless. Why not enjoy the naturalness of life? The doing itself is the end fulfillment. In this state, everything is at ease. This is the state of meaningless meaning. It has no meaning, and yet in another sense it has tremendous meaning. It is life itself. When one just is, one forgets all other things. One forgets the self. It is said, quote, to learn Buddhism is to know oneself. To know oneself is to forget oneself, unquote. One just is. This state of perfect naturalness, a state of meaningless meaning and purposeless purpose, that is what the Buddha taught. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Words from My Teachers, an Everyday Buddhism podcast, featuring readings from the books written by and about my teachers from the Bright Dawn Center of Oneness Buddhism and the Kubose Dharma Legacy, Reverend Gyomay Kubose, Reverend Koyo Kubose, and Haya Akagarasu. I hope you've enjoyed these essay readings from the Center Within by Reverend Gyomay Kubose. Until next time.